Hello, this is Michael Keller, and this is my Unit 15 um, observations for ATM 101X on May 5th, 2013. The Unit 15 concerns the weather of Kotzebue from January 27th to February 3rd and March 22nd to the 29th. So the surface temperature between January 27th to February 3rd in Kotzebue is shown here. And we can see from January 27th to the 29th, the weather is fairly consistent, fairly constant, has a increase, and then on February 1st has a dramatic decrease in temperature, and then goes back up for the second and third. The humidity follows suit with or the relative humidity, and dew point follows suit with the temperature increases and decreases, where dew point is the measure of humidity in the air. It's basically the amount of water that's in the air, and the relative humidity is the ratio of water in the air to the amount that the air can hold. And so the ability to hold water decreases as temperature decreases. So the dew point decreases because of that, and the relative humidity usually follows the dew point to some degree. As you can see, there's a slight dip on February in the relative humidity when the dew point dips down as well. And so the surface air temperature from the 22nd of March to the 29th is as shown here. Um, you can see the temperature increases and decreases daily based on the amount of daylight. So in the beginning of the day like on March 22nd, you see the temperature is really low, and then gets really high towards the middle of the day, so that'd be like noon or the evening, and then goes back down for the night and goes like back up and down like that as the day and night cycles would show. And then there's it's pretty consistent up and down like that until the 29th when there's a sharp increase in temperature. And so the humidity and dew point kind of follows this exact same thing, follows the temperature. As the temperature increases, its ability to hold water increases, of the air hold water increases, so the dew point increases and the relative humidity follows pretty consistently. So this is the weather map for January 28th. You can see the series of high pressure systems in the north and the low pressure systems in the south. Kotzebue is the area with the star. So moving on to the 31st of January, you can see the air's based on these isobar patterns. You can see the air is moving north from southeast Alaska, and we can see this is kind of where on the 31st is when the temperature was still pretty consistent throughout still pretty consistent, and you can see there's the warm front in the low pressure system, where low pressure system would kind of imply some warmer temperatures. So moving on to the first, we see there's the low pressure systems are gone, and there's kind of high pressure systems even closer towards Kotzebue than the low pressure systems. And so this is probably a big reason why it has that massive temperature dip on the 1st of February, because the low pressure systems are gone and high pressure systems typically mean drop in temperature. And so moving on to March, so March 22nd, we see low pressure systems, which probably indicate some higher temperatures. So this is where it's consistent throughout the graph we saw, and it has some snow, which could also bring some higher temperatures too. But we see these high pressure systems on all edges of the Kotzebue. So in the east, the south, and the west, we see these high pressure systems. Um, so March 22nd, we remember the temperature is pretty steady, humidity is pretty steady, and the dew point is pretty steady. And moving on to the 25th of March, it's pretty consistent. Like the low pressure systems are a little moving away, but the high pressure systems still haven't really reached it yet. And so everything's pretty steady. The humidity's steady, dew point steady, temperature steady. Then moving to the 29th of March, we see the temperature increase dramatically around this time. This is because the low pressure systems kind of came back. We see some snow. High pressure systems are way out of there. So the temperature increased around this time. You can see the snow fall too, some precipitation. So the temperature follows suit by rising around this time. So that kind of explains how these temperatures correlate, how the temperature graph correlates with the actual weather maps that we see right here. Yep, thank you.